siya sa Australia. Siya ay nakapagtapos at nakakuha ng degree na Business and Commerce noong 2014. During her second year, nung pangalawang taon pa lang niya, actually sa showbiz, nagtatanong na daw siya sa kanyang sarili. About her life, ano ba ang dapat kong gawin? Ano ba ang purpose ko sa buhay? So bumalik siya. Bumalik siya sa Australia. Kasama niya doon ang kanyang nanay. She was with her mother. Tinatanong na niya yung sarili niya. Alhamdulillah, her mother was at the time a newlywed. And then, tinignan niya, no? Nagsuri siya. Piagunagyan su agama Islam. She read into the books, she go into the websites, and search anything about Islam. Pagbalik niya ng Pilipinas, doon na siya uma-attend ng mga ganito na gathering. She went into different da'awa na ginaganap dito sa Philippines. Pumupunta siya sa iba't ibang mga, siguro mga basturat and talim just to know more about Islam. Like for example, sa Darshani, Philippines, bumibisita din siya sa mga masjid paulit-ulit. Alhamdulillah, our next speaker is also a Hajja. Later, nung nalaman na niya, yung parang, we say tawfiq. Nung na-tawfiqan na siya, she performed her Hajj. And then, from that moment on, she decided to fully practice Islam. She had been into the different schools and hospitals during Hajj para malaman yung about sa Islam, Darul Arqam in Singapore. Also, nagpo-perform siya sa mga Kalima Islamic Center and 2 schools in Dubai. Nag-research talaga itong sister natin about Islam. And she is into Islamic affairs and charitable activities of the department government. And in addition, pupunta pa siya in Dubai, not only in Singapore, Dubai, and anywhere in the world, pupunta siya para lang malaman ang kahalagahan ng Islam. Ang ating susunod na speaker, is kilala din siya sa pagpo-post niya sa kanyang social media. So mahilig dito sa mga social media, she regularly posts. Hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome. Joining us on stage is Hajja Khadija Mishail Queenie Padilla Mir. Salamat.
Naku, nagpapalakpakan na. Nagpalakpak. Ay, malabo.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, indeed all praise is due to Allah. We praise Him and seek His help and forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from our soul's evils and our wrongdoings. He whom Allah guides, no one can misguide. And he who misguides, he misguides, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah alone, without any partners, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his servant and messenger. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Guys, I do apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit sick, so please bear with me. First, I would like to say how I'm so grateful to Afuwa for inviting me in this really special event. And for me, this is a very special event because it's about something that I'm very, very passionate about. Muslim women, subhanAllah. I want to begin by asking this question. How are Muslim women treasured? Well, to know this, we must look at the status of women in Islam. In the mainstream media, Muslim women are often stereotyped as being oppressed, inferior, or unequal to men. But unfortunately, these stereotypes do happen in some Muslim countries. But what people fail to realize is that cultural practices or cultural norms and Islam are two very separate things. These stereotypes go against the very teachings of Islam. In fact, in 7th century Arabia, before the prophethood of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, newborn baby girls were buried alive, and women were often considered an object or a property of men. It was only when Islam was brought down by Allah to our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he abolished the burying of newborn baby girls, gave Muslim women honor and respect. Muslim women were given the right to sell and own property, to get education, to marry who they want, to retain their identity after marriage, to divorce, to work, to vote, and were lawfully given the right to seek protection and participate in political engagement. Before Islam, women were not given the right to inherit. Women themselves were considered the property and inheritance of men. But Islam gave women the right to inherit and own property. A wife, mother, sister, or daughter has the right to have a share of a deceased relative, depending on their relationship with that particular deceased person. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it clear to all Muslims, men and women, that seeking knowledge is obligatory. In fact, did you know that the greatest scholar in Islam was a woman? Yes, and who was she? Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. One of our mothers and dear wife of our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The very first university that was built was funded by a woman from Morocco named Fatima al-Fihri in Morocco, 859 Common Era. When it comes to marriage, Islam deeply prohibits forced marriages. And now some of you in the audience might be thinking, oh yeah, right, well it's happening to me. Yes, in some cases, in some Muslim countries, women are still being forced to get married. But this is only because of cultural reasons. It has nothing to do with Islam. Every Muslim woman has every right to choose whom she wants to marry, and parents have to make it easy for their children. Make halal easy. Muslim daughters have every right in Islam to reject or approve of marriage proposals. If a Muslim woman is being abused physically, if her husband is not fulfilling her rights, she has every right to divorce her husband. In Islam, marriage is not based on lust or carnal desire. It is based on mutual respect, love, compassion, patience. In the Quran, Allah says, among His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, so that you may find tranquility in them. And He placed between you affection and mercy. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged men to be good to their wives, and he was such a good example as a husband. He was the best to his wives and his family, subhanAllah. In a hadith, He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best among you are those who are best to their wives. After a woman gets married, it is Islamically her right to keep her last name, because she is not her husband's property. And when it comes to financial responsibilities, Muslim women are not obliged to earn or pay the household bills or any general expenses. If she isn't married, it's the job of the head male in the family, whether it's her father or brother or cousin or uncle. But if she wants to help with the financial responsibilities, she can. But at the same time, she isn't obliged to do so. But if she wants to, out of kindness and consideration, it's fine. And one great example of a great businesswoman was Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, the first wife of our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. She spent her wealth to support him in the path of Allah.
Kasi hindi ako naka-live video. Yun ang mga ano dyan.
Everything that Allah Ta'ala has created is protected and has dignity under Islamic law. When it comes to the protection and dignity of Muslim women, it is forbidden in Islam that a woman is mistreated, abused, whether it be emotional, physically, or psychologically. And many female scholars say that any type of oppression or any form of domestic violence is strictly prohibited in Islam. When it comes to politics and social services, during the early spread of Islam, Muslim women actively participated in the functioning of society. Women had businesses and traded openly during the caliphate of Omar radiallahu anhu. And at the time, he appointed a woman named Shafa bin Abdullah as the head of the marketplace. Women freely expressed their opinions, and men would often ask for their advice. And during the battles, women used to aid the wounded men, and some even fought in the battlefield. And one of the greatest fighters that fought alongside the Sahabas was a woman, and her name was Khawla bin al-Aswar, subhanallah. Women are highly treasured in Islam. When a Muslim baby girl is born, she gives her parents a chance to enter Jannah. In a hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ says, "Whomever from my ummah raises 3 daughters or 3 sisters and gives an Islamic upbringing, then those daughters will become a shield for him from the fire of Jahannam." When a Muslim woman gets married, she completes the deen of her husband, and if her husband is good towards her, he will become the best of men. Islam has elevated the status of women, so much so that Allah has given women something that men have no ability to do. He has given us the gift of the womb. When a Muslim woman becomes a mother, Jannah lies under her feet and deserves the utmost respect from her children. Those are the profound facts that gave me the courage to completely transform my life and transform into the woman that I am today. I am a proud Muslim woman. I am dignified. I am honored. I am special. And I am beautiful because everything I do to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the beginning, it was difficult for me to understand what the position of women were. I used to think that Islam was backwards, and I never understood why women had to cover themselves in the 21st century. It was only when I started to learn and really get into Islam that I began to discover the reasons why. Back in my Jahiliyyah, men would look at me as if I were an object or a piece of meat. But when I started wearing hijab, I started to notice that my characteristics, my heart, and my personality are given great significance. Which is for me empowering as a woman, because it leaves an impression to men that, hey, you know, I am intelligent and you can't fool around with me. My power as a woman is not just limited to my charms. I am a woman boundless of characteristics. My intellect, the beauty of my personality, the beauty of my heart, the beauty of my mind, and the beauty of my faith. My dear sisters in Islam, if ever in your life you feel weak in your iman, whether it may be that you are being culturally oppressed by fellow Muslims, or that your cultural traditions are given more importance than your rights, or whether it be an ignorant person down the street laughing at you for wearing the hijab, niqab, or abaya in the heat, I tell you this: stay strong. Remember how special you are in the eyes of Allah Ta'ala. Remember that in Allah's book, you are treasured and elevated. You even have a verse in the Quran in your name. You are the backbone and the very core of this ummah. No matter what you go through, and no matter how hard it is, never give up on Islam. And remember, if you have Allah and nothing else, you have everything. But if you don't have Allah in your life and everything else, in reality you have nothing. Because the life of this world is just a temporary passage. Our final destination is in Akhirah. I hope that you have found this beneficial, inshallah. May Allah accept all our efforts. And I would like to end my talk with a dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.